Welcome back to another edition of 60 Super Bowls in 60 days. We are at Super Bowl what? Akeem, I think you covered the Super Bowl already. I think I did. Yeah, I think I covered the Super Bowl already. You're supposed to do the next Super Bowl. But I paused to give you context. Now, why was this Super Bowl matter? Why was the Super Bowl I'm going to tell you more important in regards to this Super Bowl? Everybody knows about Super Bowl 36. The high-flying St. Louis Rams with the greatest show on turf facing off against the upstart New England Patriots. You could call it upstart in terms of like some of the players have not been there before. Others have been there but have never even reached the top of the stomach, of course. And by the way, a player named Tom Brady. They were expected to dominate this game, 14-point favorites, and then it did not happen. New England went on to win. They went on to win the next two Super Bowls, of course, and started the most dominant dynasty in all of sports. Now, there was a video talking about all the teams that they broke, of course, in order to get through to winning all the Super Bowls. Tom Brady just absolutely wrecked all your teams, of course, in those years from like 2000 until his retirement, of course. One of them is the Seattle Seahawks. And that is where we get to our next Super Bowl, everybody. We are in the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, February 1st, 2015. It is Super Bowl 49 between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champion, versus the team that hasn't won a Super Bowl since Super Bowl 39. Yes, Super Bowl 39. And this game was an absolute doozy. At the time, it was the highest, most watched Super Bowl ever. Ever. Probably the most highest watched television program in history. Proving one thing and one thing only, that when it comes to a day like the Super Bowl, everything else just becomes second. Literally becomes second. And the game itself was an absolute classic, except for one key little detail. Little detail, of course. If we're going to get to the statistics and all the craziness coming up, but this thing has everything that you needed. You wanted to see the most highly talk about actress in Ida Menzel doing the singing national anthem at the time when Frozen became the biggest thing? You got it. You want to see Katy Perry at the height of her powers do the Super Bowl? You got it. You want to see a left shark just kind of to have like some kind of, bad problems, of course, and making themselves a meme? You got it. You want to see some incredible celebrities? You got it. It was everything you wanted from a Super Bowl and then some, and the game itself absolutely delivered. Let's get to the stats. Tom Brady, MVP of the Super Bowl with 27 of 50 for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Russell Wilson, 12 for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception. For the rushing, LeGarrette Blount, 14 carries for 40 yards at 2.86 a pop. Shane Vereen, 4 rushes for 13 yards a pop at 3.25 a carry. Robert Turbin, 2 carries for 21 yards at 10.5 a pop. For the receiving, Julian Edelman, 9 catches for 109 yards at 12.11 a pop and a touchdown. Robert Gronkowski, 6 catches for 68 yards at 11.33 a pop and a touchdown. Danny Amendola, 5 catches for 48 yards and 9.6 a touchdown. Brandon Flafel, 4 catches for 29 yards, 7.25 a pop and a touchdown. Shane Vereen, 11 catches for 64 yards and 5.28 a pop. For the Seattle Seahawks, Chris Matthews, 4 catches for 109 yards and 27.25 a pop and a touchdown. Ricardo Lockett, 3 catches for 59 yards, 19.67 yards a pop. Jermaine Kearse, the hero from the Green Bay divisional championship round, of course. I think this is where Tom Grossi got his kicks from. This is literally that NFC championship game from 2015 is really where Tom Grossi really could kick up his channel. I guess it started with Payne, I guess. 3 catches for 45 yards and 15 yards a pop, including this unbelievable catch. Like, if you're the Patriots fan and you saw this incredible catch, of course, you're thinking to yourself, well, there we go. Another Super Bowl lost, I guess. Doug Bolin, 1 catch for 3 yards and a touchdown. For the defense, Malcolm, we'll get to him later. Rob Nikovic, Chandler Jones, and Darrell Revis Island, sack and 10 tackles. Jamie Collins, 8 tackles. Dante Hightower, Devontae McCourty, 5 tackles. Selvi Siliga, 4 tackles. Kyle Ayrton, Alan Branch, and Brandon Boulder with 3 tackles. For Seattle's defense, Bobby Wagner, interception and 12 tackles. Jeremy Lane, interception. I think he got injured, of course, while he made the interception. He did. Bruce Irvin, sack and 2 tackles. KJ Wright, 11 tackles. Cam Chancellor, 10 tackles. Earl Thomas, 9 tackles. Brian Maxwell, 5 tackles. And Richard Sherman and Kevin Williams with 3 tackles. For special teams and kicking, Steven Gostkowski, 4 for 4 PATs. Stephen Hoshkov, 3 for 3 PATs and a field goal. Total yards, New England, 377 to 396. And New England have 2 turnovers to Seattle 1. The one turnover by Seattle. It's the most egregious, most talked about play in the history of all Super Bowls. And it's been so bad that, let me just tell you, Seattle never recovered from it. Well, I'm recording this, before the championship game, but they might go back to the Super Bowl. But in terms of, trying to cement yourself as a dynasty, this is the most self-sabotage way to ruin that in more ways than one. Because let's be honest, beyond that, this game was absolutely cinema. Absolute cinema. The game was pretty good, of course. Tom Brady got a pass from Brandon LaFleur for the first touchdown. And then the second quarter, Seattle scored a touchdown by Marshawn Lynch for 3 yards and a touchdown. Hey, they actually used Marshawn Lynch. Maybe he might be important in the bigger circumstances come later on. Maybe that will happen. Who knows? Let's get forward into the second quarter still. Tom Brady with a touchdown from Rob Gronkowski for 22 yards. And then Seattle with another touchdown to Chris Matthews for an 11-yard touchdown and make it 14-14 at the half. It's already getting spicy here. And then Steve Gronkowski with a field goal to give the Seattle the lead. And Russell Wilson with an incredible pass to Doug Baldwin for 3 yards to make it 24-14. At the time, you have to understand if you're a Patriots fan. Your team has not won a Super Bowl in a long, long time. This incredible Seattle team with an incredible defense, with a young Russell Wilson, with an incredible Pete Carroll coach, who, by the way, was a former Patriots coach way back when, before they were ever successful. Many people in Patriots must be thinking, well, that's it. It's over. It is over for them. There's no way they can win this Super Bowl. It is the most painful thing ever. We're going to have to go back and start with the drawing board. But not TB12. Not TB12. Not in your lifetime. Because a couple of plays later, we're deep into the fourth quarter, he completed a pass to Danny Amendola with 4 yards for a touchdown. And then defensively, they did a great job. And then Tom Brady scored an amazing touchdown to Julian Edelman to make it 3 yards. All of a sudden, they scored 14 points in the fourth quarter to make it 28-24. But it's not done yet. Let me just break it down piece by piece. Russell Wilson pass complete to Marshawn Lynch for 31 yards. Then an incomplete pass to Jermaine Kearse. Then a timeout by Seattle. Then Russell Wilson with a pass incomplete deep to Chris Matthews. Then a Tyler Lockett with 11 yards. Then Russell Wilson with a 33-yard catch by Jermaine Kearse, which he kind of fell onto it, and it kind of bobbled the ball, of course, right around the thigh area, of course. It was juggling. And by the way, this was exactly the same stadium, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally the exact same stadium as the helmet catch. The Tyrese catch, by the way, that I mentioned you a couple of days ago. This was the same Super Bowl. Like, literally the same Super Bowl. Like, you just can't make this up. You just literally can't make this up. On the same stadium that they had the incredible David Tyree catch. The Patriots, once again, being thwarted by another incredible play in this stadium. And many people must be thinking, Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl. It happened in Super Bowl 42. It then happened in Super Bowl 46 against the same team with another amazing catch by Manningham. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen to the Patriots again. It just always feels like they're never going to win a Super Bowl, of course, at this moment. The Seattle with that catch was at the 38-yard line. Yes, they were at the 38-yard line and they call a timeout. Now, they got the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the 4-yard line. They were at the 1-yard line with a couple of seconds left. It's second and probably 10. Any smart person must be thinking to yourself, well, just hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. We've seen him bulldozing tacklers. We saw him in Arizona. We saw him in the Beastquake game against New Orleans and way back playoff when. We see Marshawn Lynch tear through defenders, tear through. And it's 1 yard. It's a gimme, of course. You could just run on the clock. You could just, rush a couple of times. You could just run down the clock. You can force New England to make timeouts. And then basically, you can run down a touchdown. There'll be like 5-10 seconds left, and the game was over. The game was basically over. The game was literally on Seattle's hands. All they just have to do is to do the basic thing and just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. Just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. You can just get your yard, and even then, you have like, 2 plays left? You got 3rd down, 4th down, and if they stopped, well, it is what it is. But you still have time. You still have time to make a right decision. Any person who play Madden knows the situation is easy for them. Any person would have an IQ of 100 that knows who they can hand the ball. Every person in Seattle knows they're going to hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Except Pete Carroll. Because Pete Carroll decided, no. We're not going to win the Super Bowl by just running the ball, of course. That's not what he's saying, but let me just rephrase that. We're going to make Russell Wilson have the ball in his hands. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, yeah, we know Russell Wilson can run the ball, of course. We all know how great he is and mobile and all kind of stuff. And, wait, you're going to give him the ball to throw. All right. Okay. See, if it works, Pete Carroll will go down as a hero. Russell Wilson will be a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Seattle will be having the greatest dynasty ever and all kinds of stuff. And nobody will chastise what Pete Carroll will do. It will be talked about for the rest of their lives, of course. But when it failed, boy, oh boy, you're getting scrutinized till the day the cows come home. And that is what exactly happened. Russell Wilson threw the ball, was supposed to catch the Tyler Lockett, but was incomplete to Malcolm Butler, the unknown draft pick from like South Kentucky, of course. And that was ball game. And yes, I did not even mention the stats because those were the 2 most important people on this game. Marshawn Lynch, 15 carries for 39 yards to 2.6 a pop and a touchdown. And then the wrong Super Bowl. Actually, dumbass, wrong Super Bowl. Marshawn Lynch, 24 carries for 102 yards and 4.2 off a pop. This is the right Super Bowl, by the way. And then Malcolm Butler with an interception and 3 tackles. Look at this. 102 yards. 102 yards. And Seattle did not even hand in the ball for only the 1 yard they needed. Seattle was never the same after this. They went on to have decent seasons, but they never even come close to this. And it wrecked them. It literally wrecked them. Like Chris Collinsworth, who was commentating at the time, said it was a horrible call. Like Chris Collinsworth had known football for so many years. Played football, talked about football, commentated, and even he has more mindset than him. This was a bad call in a moment like this against a Patriots team that, were on the road, for God's sakes. You had the freaking Patriots on the rope. You have Tom Brady and the Patriots on the rope. And instead of just trying to kill off the game, you get fancy cute, and look what it cost you. It cost you your Super Bowl, your dynasty, and it gave the Patriots their 4th Super Bowl in their history, and their first time in a long damn time. But other than that, the game was absolutely great. It was an absolute spectacle, of course. The game was great. Everything was amazing. The final play was scrutinized till the cows come home. But beyond that, it was a fantastic game. If you have the time, please go watch it and just criticize Seattle Seahawks or criticize Pete Carroll until, 6 feet under, I guess. Anyways, that should do it for Super Bowl 49. Coming up tomorrow, it'll be Super Bowl 50, and one high-flying offense will take on another high-flying defense. But Akeem, you already done that Super Bowl before. Yes, I did. This time, it is different. Different for one team and different for another team. Tomorrow will be the 50th Super Bowl we have done, and it's going to be an absolute doozy. Actually, scratch that. It'll be the opposite of this incredible doozy. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all kinds of stuff. And if you are in Madden and you're in the 1 yard line, just please hand the ball off to your running back. It will save you a lot of pain and time and stress. Ciao, everyone.